Ali, hello. I'm not Natalie Boyle. I'm Uwe Boll, and I'm back from the shoot of The Dark Knight with Army Hammer as a real vigilante, back to the old days of Rampage, Assault on Wall Street, very violent and dark film, and very bitter also about the social situation worldwide and in Europe. The crime statistics are very high. Amok runs every day, knife stabbings, mass rapes, and that was driving me to use this film so that basically internally my trilogy, Deutschland in Winter, Germany in Winter, about the political landscape in Europe is finished now, because the number one was Hanau, about the right-wing extremists running amok in Hanau. And then the second one was what is unreleased, about the migrant situation in Italy on the islands. And the darkest and hardest one is The Dark Knight. It's changing the title. DC and Warner already called me and sent me a letter that I cannot use that title, and I understand it. But I also said to them, guys, you remember Rampage, the Rock movie? You used my title, and they asked me for permission to use my title, and they gave my permission for free. And the fact that I did that, they could also show greatness and say, look, it's not a Batman movie, so you can use the title. They can respond like this. Who knows what they will respond? I'm waiting. Also, James Gunn, we shouldn't forget, did Slither in Vancouver with Sean Williams and Bright Light Pictures, where I did all my films with. He was on my film sets. I think he was on House of the Dead and some other stuff. He came by, and we always had Tuesdays was hot dog day also on his set. So he has very good humor. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. And I wrote him also that I think like Joker 1 was a masterpiece because it was violent and dark and was not based on a video game. The Dark Knight from Christopher Nolan was a masterpiece because of Heath Ledger's performance, and in general, Nolan is a great filmmaker. But most of the DC films, and it is the same with Marvel, suck, and they're too long. With endless CGI, everything is fake, and the stories suck. And I think especially Batman, how many Batmans we want to watch? So I said, like, why you don't guys buy it? Because what can you lose? The Penguin is also not really a comic book thing, and it works very well with Colin Farrell winning all the prizes for it. So I think they should try out a very violent sexual, like we have sex violence, we're on the NC-17 level with my film. And maybe that's the reason it would work as The Dark Knight, everything is so clean at DC and Marvel. And it's all like, oh, we act and talk and do like it's R-rated, but it's not, because we need a big audience and do PG-13 movies. So maybe my letter gets to him on the desk and it sinks in, and he can think about it, doing like an more low-budget vigilante Punisher style The Dark Knight film. And don't name it Batman also, because he doesn't have a costume and he's not Batman. He is thinking about a different title now, and like Citizen Vigilante is very good, because he is a citizen, a normal citizen who by accident has a military background, but he goes for it. And when the judges fail and the law fails, he goes after them. And I think that's a great idea, So that's the reason I did it. And Armie Hammer is an A-list star. He is like an absolute top-notch actor who carries the film. And I mean, it's interesting because, look, everybody around him are like Croatians, Europeans. He's an American in Zagreb, in Croatia, playing it. And that Croatia so far refuses us to give us the tax rebate, the tax credit, because they say, oh, that movie's too violent, instigating, whatever. It's good because that is what we wanted, but I still want the tax rebate, because they're not supposed to censor films. They're supposed to admire and push like for investments in Croatia. And I made 6 movies there. I did Max Schmeling, Blue Barella, Blood Rain 3, Auschwitz, and Run. And Dark Knight is the 6th movie I did there, and that is how I get treated. That a tax rebate I don't get. In Canada, I did Seed and all that stuff, and it always got the tax credit because they don't look into content; they look into what money you spend, how much jobs you bring. That's exactly what I did here, and I feel like totally cheated on if I don't get the tax rebate, and I have to warn everybody then in Croatia to producers who go to Croatia to shoot. I mean, make sure you get the tax rebate before you spend the dollars there. You know, it's like a government censorship. What is not supposed to be a government censorship? And I hope I get the money because I'm a big fan of Croatia, a big fan of my crew, of Borval Film, of Boris Velkan, and so on. And I hope I can make more films with them. Run was turns out amazing. We hopefully sell it soon, and you know, there is stuff where we could continue in Zagreb or in Croatia, but right now I would say I cannot come back if I don't get that tax rebate because I have to swallow all that money myself. So so as I said, we will see what Warner says, we will see what the Croatian government says, but we also have a great film, a very bloody one, a very dark one, and we have a killing performance of Armie Hammer, like an American in a foreign country, and I think people will love it. And also Run is a very strong drama, what escalates to, because it's an Uwe Boll film, but yeah. And about First Shift, we hope we're moving forward towards part 2 and part 3. For 13 or 14 weeks, we're at Paramount Plus in the top 10, basically. So I assume we made shitloads of money for them and shitloads of views. And they said now finally they're interested to acquire more films for First Shift. That is very positive. I'm very happy about it. And I hope we can move forward, you know, that we move forward with more First Shift films. Gino Pesi, Kristen Renton are an amazing police duo, and we can bring guest stars in, and would love to shoot as fast as possible based on the fact that, of course, the fans want more First Shift fast and not like in 2 years, like they want at end of this year or beginning of next year. There's my son coming. What's going on? I'm doing a little video for Gary Otto. We have 2:50. In exactly 40 minutes we're leaving. Yeah, you can play a game if you want. Ja. Ja. Nee, der muss nur richtig mal aufgepumpt werden. I have to go to handball with my son. And also, we do a video game based on Dark Knight. We name it then also, of course, different. And with Polygon Art in Germany, they did Strike Force and shoot the game. So it will be a very hard, brutal game too. A lot of fun for adults, I would say. And they would do it for the PlayStation and the Switch and the Xbox and online. They do all platforms. That's very good. That makes me happy because the Tunnel Rats video game is only on Steam Valve because the video game company at that point in Hamburg went bankrupt and dropped the ball on us. That's the reason the Tunnel Rats video game never really moved anywhere, you know. So, and yeah, and I have to say, we have that other project about Elliot Ness, you know, the Butcher of Kingsbury Run. And we have a lot of interest in the project as long Kevin Costner plays Elliot Ness again. And I hope maybe he gets that video here or whatever. But I really hope that we can get him back. Elliot Ness, the Untouchables was so a good film, so a masterpiece. And this case we show in our film is the last case Elliot Ness ever handled, and I think it's worth it that he that he is doing it. I mean, it's insane not to do it. He needs money for Horizon. Here is some money on the table, gets paid as an actor, you know, so that's the thing. And naja. On the politics side, there's the Munich Security Conference, and it looks like Trump and Vance and everybody moves deeply into the territory now to fulfill another promise they did at the campaign to finish the Ukraine war. And I think the Europeans and Ukraine was all that years, they had an illusion about it, what doesn't reflect reality. And I think the reality is that they will have to give some territory room to Russia. They have to keep these territories they conquered. But at the same time, the Ukraine needs also some security guarantees, and the US is willing to give that together with the NATO. And I think Trump will follow then a contract and a peace order. And the main thing is in all that time to finish the killings, finish the spending money for killings, and to move on with all our lives. And a lot of Ukrainian refugees here in Germany, 1.5 million, they can go back to Ukraine and go back to their jobs and put their kids there in school, because we have a crisis in Germany with too many migrants, and the Ukrainians came on top of all the migrants. Of course, they're easier to integrate, but all of this was not positive for the German finance situation. We spent too much money on all of them. So now we see if common sense wins, and if Trump can do that for the Europeans, who then, like, now they acting like they have the big shots, but they are little pussies, like especially our government, who will get like omitted next week in the election. And I think it's very much time to look into the good thing, what happened after this election with Trump, and we should see it in a more positive way, because it shows that you can leave no stone unturned. You can change things nobody changed. In all that American presidents, Bush, Obama, Clinton, whatever, the needle moved 7-8% back and forth with a little more rules here, a little more tax there, a little more this, a little more that. And in all of this, the state debt and state quote went up and up and up, the same in Europe. And I think the Trump government this time came in very prepared and very willing to change everything within a year, so that they have 3 more years to run the country smooth on all the changes they did very much in the front, so that the country sees also, like, if you throw out 1.5 million people working for the government, you will free a lot of money, what you can put in the pocket of the taxpayers back. And I think that is what they want to do. Everybody who works will get real benefits from all that savings. US aid, yes, the US aid did good things too, you know, but overall US aid was a hidden operation tool for the CIA, that's proven. And at the same time, US aid was also this, what all these charities are. It's like all the charities like Hunger in the World, even PETA, where I gave money for, whatever, like they pocket a lot of money and spend it only in advertising to collect more money. And they spend it for private jets. They spend it for their own lifestyle. They spend it for all the employees they have. And when they collect 50 million bucks, like for the World Hunger Help, from the 50, maybe 10 going to the hungry people and 40 going to the organization. And that is what US aid did, you know, and you have so many things that were so corrupt, people just pocket money left and right. And it's good to omit it. It's good to go through it. And then to say, look, now we're saving 40 billion bucks. What can we do with that 40 billion for the good of our people, in America, a lot of kids starving. In America, a lot of people, they don't get health care. So why not moving money, lowering taxes, but moving money also from A to B? Like, why are that state agencies in Germany the same? Why is the parliament so big, the Congress and Senate? Why do they have so many people working for them? Why do they have so many lobby groups? Why the FBI, CIA, NSA, NRA, not NRA, but here the army, why do they have so many people working for them? You know, and making money left and right from the taxpayers who pay all the bills. That's the key. And this, that you can change everything, that message now comes totally across. And that message is what the very corrupt European system And I don't blame you, so you don't blame me. So we continue getting our money channeled from the EU, from whatever. That has to stop. You know, it has to stop, and it has to get reformed, and the whole administration and government and bureaucracy needs to get reduced and cheaper. That's the reality. Yeah, so that was me for today. Soon I can also hop on the next podcast with Gary, and I wish you all the best.